Hello, I'm Joe, aka Mr. Fragrance, and today I've been lucky enough to receive about 5 perfumes from Rosa Salas, and they are a company that's actually getting quite a lot of hype in the community right now. So I've actually felt very lucky to receive these, and I'm just going to give my first impressions on these 5 perfumes, and then hopefully in future videos move into doing them a bit more in-depth videos on them. So yeah, enjoy the video. So everyone, thank you so much again for just tuning into my channel. I'd like to say, if you can and you haven't done already, do subscribe for more of this kind of content. I know that I think about 89% of my views are from non-subscribers, so that's pretty big. So I'm just going to jump right into it, and the first perfume I'm going to be reviewing is Rosa Salas Santal Lush. So, believe it or not, Santal Lush is inspired by Santal, and I've got a very brief note here which I'm going to read to you. Santal Lush is a texture fusion of smooth, creamy sandalwood with exotic eastern spices and an aromatic floral, entwined with sumptuous woods to create a soft, naked glamour of fresh earthiness. So I'm told that this starts off with quite a fruity richness, and I get that definitely. It is certainly quite fruity. But as it said in my notes, it's got quite a metallic smell. And it's kind of like a sharpness. It's very subtle, but there is a touch of metallic. But in general, it's quite an earthy, deep, whilst maintaining kind of fruity. It's not like a dirty smell, but it's quite deep, earthy. And it's really kind of bold. It's a very nice opening. In fact, this is the kind of opening that many fragrances would try to strive to have in the base. But I think that having already worn this a little bit, just to give me a brief idea, so it isn't a totally first impressions, but it is. I know that it becomes kind of quite leathery. And as I described it, this is a fig fragrance. The kind of fruitiness is a fig fruitiness. And it reminds me of one of the fragrances I got from the bathhouse. It actually almost gets even stronger, this fig fruitiness for me. It gets a little bit stronger as the scent develops and dries down a little bit. And I think that whilst it's certainly been identified in the top notes, I actually think it's kind of carried through into the base notes as well. And I mentioned that it is kind of fresh, and that they have got ambergris here, which is going to add to freshness, as well as the sandalwood, which is probably one of the fresher woods in my opinion. You can't exactly describe a wood as being totally fresh, but I think it does create a kind of uplifting and a versatility to this fragrance that you'd look for. In the end, I think it's a great solution to a fragrance that you're looking for, a fruity, woody. It's just a dark, deep, bold fragrance, and it's very nice. And there's so much to say about it that I could honestly describe this fragrance for a long time, because it's almost developing all the time. But this smooth creaminess, as it's described, is really kind of helping to glue everything together. And no, it's actually very nice. This is a very professional smelling fragrance. It's very nice. So the next fragrance I've got is number 11, Hombre, and it is inspired by Hombre. So they say that Hombre is one of their most captivating line of perfumes, for their men at least, which rejoices the modern man. So if it's inspired by Hombre, we're looking for quite a woody, musky, and I've always thought that Hombre has a bit of a sun cream kind of smell, sun cream, I guess. So let's just try it. Let's just give it a go. It's got that rind smell, that citrus rind, the zestiness at the top, with really strong, spicy, woody accords as well. You know, I've forever I've talked about fragrances that smell like you want to consume them. Again, do not, but they smell like that, and this is falling into that category immediately. It's like a zest. It smells like a really well cooked steak. You know, zesty, very spicy, but it's got the warmth of the wood, which again obviously combines so well with the spiciness. And again, from recollection, this does dry down into a lovely musky warmth, which it just smells really luxurious, and rich. It's just very rich. It's like I've said, it's like a very expensive steak, and it's lovely. This zestiness is not fresh, but it does it does create, it balances out that obviously very, very kind of what would otherwise be overpowering deep, like the previous fragrance, very, very deep fragrance, and it's just very rich, strong, and I believe that this is probably going to be quite a long-lasting fragrance. I think it's probably going to have a very, very good sillage, which it does, especially on skin, and yeah, it's going to be a fragrance that's probably going to bring some criticism from people that are looking for mass appealing. This smells very niche, but I think it smells lovely, and it's very, very masculine, and it's a perfect versatile fragrance. I think that could be worn in many different situations, because obviously you've got this warm depth that could easily cut through the cold in the winter, but this kind of zestiness is also giving it the ability to be worn on a summer's day. Next fragrance we're going to be looking at is Lucayan. I'm not quite sure how I would pronounce this. It takes its name from the inhabitants of the Bahamas and brings an invigorating blend of the wild, untamed essences these unique Caribbean islands offer. So it's going to be deep, woody, and again zesty lemon, bitter bergamot, and juicy orange. This sounds like it's going to be great. This is the only one I actually didn't try before doing this review or this haul. Good. That was lovely. I think from reading the notes there, I thought it was possibly going to be a little bit more like the previous two, going to be quite easily fit into the category of winter fragrance. Obviously the versatile. No, this is lovely and fresh. This is really refreshing. Lemon bergamot at the top, lightly said. It's very, very, it's not as bitter as I was expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit more zesty, right, like rind. Well, there is a very, very zesty lemon, but I think the bergamot and the orange almost like counteract that with a little bit of sweetness, a touch of sweetness. But I can already smell the powder musk, and I don't think that he mentioned the fact that there's ambergris there. I don't think there is ambergris, but there is a kind of oceanic smell to it as well. It smells like the seaside. It smells, again, like something that you would put, it's similar. The zestiness is very similar to the previous fragrance. It smells like something that you maybe put on top of a salad dressing that you put on top of a salad or something like that. Very refreshing, and again, almost smells like something you would want to consume. But lovely, soft, fresh vibes. Very, very nice. Smells like something you would definitely wear on a summer's day. Short t-shirt, shorts on, sandals, flip-flops, that kind of thing. And I don't think this one will project as well as the previous one, again, because it's quite fresh and it is quite citrus heavy almost. It's not citrus heavy, but it's got a lot of citrus in it. So I think that will mean that it will certainly be quite along the lines of I think it'll be along the lines of being a maybe more longer lasting, yet a little bit weaker on the sillage and projection. I'm yet to properly hit these base notes. The sweetness that I mentioned earlier could be partly coming from vanilla. And the amber is there, but like they've said here, I think the amber will linger and last longer. That will be one of the last things that properly comes into full force, along with the musks, which is, of course, it's going to be there. It's got that earthiness to it. The musk is adding, but it's not at its full potential yet, I don't think. And I think they will kind of come into their own skin a little bit later on, and that will be what lasts. The zestiness will die out a little bit, which is what is already happening. So yeah, I look forward to giving this one a full review. I'll wear a little bit more, and then I'll be able to give a full impression of what I think of it. But so far, initial impressions are very good. We've got two more left. This is the second last one. I've got a full bottle this time, and this is the Greatest Oud, number 91. So I'm very excited to try this one. I love oud fragrances. I have already smelled this one before. I did like it, but let's give a full impression. The atomizers in these bottles are just incredible, really. They are very good. That is so good. This is by far my favourite to have tried so far. Like they've said here, it's vibrant, it is properly rich, it is beautiful, it's spicy whilst having a fresh touch, but it's fruity, it's sweet as you would expect from the oud, rich, and they described it perfectly, I think, down here. This is what I would have always wanted to describe it as. Both energetic and charming. It's got it's got like a fresh kick, a refreshing boost, which you don't usually expect from an oud fragrance. You know, that's usually a little bit more luxury and manly. But no, this has got a fresh touch, but as well as this lovely, charming oud fragrance that you'd expect from something like this. And I think this absolutely captures the brilliance of oud in the most incredible way. This is by far my favourite fragrance of these, and possibly my favourite oud fragrance that I own right now. I know that they're bringing out an oud range right now, Rosa Salas perfumes, and so that might be something to try out, given that they're obviously very, very good at doing these. I can pick up the saffron for sure from the top. That was something that I definitely picked up from the top. It's quite an aromatic, enjoyable smell. And in the mid, the spices are very, very prominent. I don't know what spices they are. Possibly still picking up the saffron a little bit, but I would have said that there's some black pepper in there, that kind of, because black pepper has got a lovely ability to really work well with sweet fragrances and spicy fragrances and woody fragrances. It's got a brilliant array of versatility that can be added to anything. The oud wood is the most important thing here. The oud wood and this vanilla create a lovely sweetness that that really works well with this spiciness as well. So very, very enjoyable, lovely. In fact, that is so lovely. So I'm finally going to end with Black Tie, which is inspired by Tuxedo. That is a fragrance that I've actually never tried, Tuxedo. I hadn't even heard of it before receiving these, and so I had to look it up. I know, it's ridiculous. I know. Yeah. Okay, it's been about 3 days since I'd smelled this one, and I'm just reminding myself how brilliant it is. Oh, it is a floral fragrance, right? But then add black pepper and it suddenly smells like the world's most beautiful soup. I'm sorry if this is offensive to the brand. I'm not trying to, I know I'm describing these like meals, but honestly, they're just, this smells so, this captures the absolute beauty of black pepper. Black pepper is just so incredible in fragrances. It's probably, when fragrances I try and mix my own blends, I like to make sure that there's black pepper in a lot of the fragrances I create, because I think black pepper has such an incredible versatility, as I said previously. And this highlights, this is the only fragrance I've ever smelt that honestly puts the black pepper into like the #1 spot on the podium and says, look at me. The black pepper is just so authentic smelling. It's like you can smell every single part of it. It's like cracked black pepper as well as like fresh, the pepper kernels. It's everything about it is just so incredible. And we cannot forget the fact that there's obviously rose in there as well. It's got a really nice, supported by this lovely rose floral note. I think they said they've got Lily of the Valley in there as well. And I'm not picking up the creamy vanilla yet. I think that'll be in the base notes and that'll start to come through again later. But no, that is just so lovely. I'm so glad that there's a company that's actually come out and made black pepper their #1. And I think they say, yeah, it's dark, rich, unapologetically sexy, and an absolute must-have to make you red carpet ready, no matter where you're headed. So it's very true. It's seductive, it's masculine, and they have searched to make a floral fragrance that a man cannot turn down by saying, I'm not sure that's masculine enough. I think they've done a really good job there. So thank you so much to them for sending me these fragrances. 2 of them I think are the absolute winners. That's the oud and the black pepper. But then I really like the use of zestiness in some of the smaller bottles. So yeah, please do check them out. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. I'll make sure to be doing reviews of all of these at some point. So look out for them if you enjoy Rosa Salas perfumes. But yeah, I'll see you next time on my channel. Bye for now.